guess I better start talking,
Oh,
or I might piss off iHeartRadio.
Oh my God, don't lose that sponsorship.
Too late.
Possible sponsorship. Oh my
Hi.
God. Hello.
Hey, finally. Sorry about the late start, folks, but here we are.
Sorry, I'm not sorry, because I just had this feeling when we started doing these podcasts, which I love doing, by the way. I was like, wow, I have to drive from Minneapolis to St. Paul.
Which no one ever wants to do, by the way.
No one ever wants to do, because there's really only one or two ways to do it. And then I was like, it's going to turn into winter, and the Wild's going to start playing, and the snow and the ice. And I was like, it's going to be hell. It's going to be hell. And I was like, just stick with it. Nope, tonight it was hell. So we're starting at 7:20.
Find a spot, and that's why we are starting late.
Thank you. I'm ordering food
but you
on
have
the air.
food and
Thanks.
drinks coming, so that's good. And we'll take care of
so
Sammy.
delicious.
Sammy, thank you.
So good. But I made it. I'm here.
You're here, and we got plenty of show.
I called Jason and
too much show.
Almost tears, but it's fine.
I was a little worried about you, to be honest.
I know. Well, I've had one of those days where you're like, any more level of stress, and I could easily lose my mind. And I almost did kind of lose my mind the other day. Did I tell you about this?
I don't think so.
I've been having these strange sensations where I can't really feel my body, kind of like an out-of-body experience.
Is there a word for that, though? Are we talking, what is that called, where you kind of dizzy?
I'm not really dizzy, and I'm not, like, tingly numb.
Okay.
I just can't feel my body. And it's almost like a stress hormonal anxiety thing. And, where I'm like, what? Like, I feel almost like I'm super high on weed. When you're like, oh, that
or you're
type of...
so ripped you don't even know where you are.
Right, don't even know where you are. And this has been happening occasionally, more frequently, and I've never had this problem before. I was driving the other day, and I all of a sudden kind of came out of this blackout state, and I had no idea where I was.
Jesus.
And I was like, do I turn right? Do I turn left? All I know is I'm like kind of by my friend's house. I called him, and I texted him. I was kind of scared, and then I was like, okay, no, I have to get guitar lessons. That's what happened.
Wow.
I know.
You're messed up.
I think I might be.
Well, here's the thing. This is a show that's not gonna. We're not gonna need a whole lot of thinking tonight. So you can take a night off.
Okay.
We're just gonna relax. It's gonna be an easy one.
Okay.
Because it's the best of 2014. It's so easy. There's a little bit to touch on before we get to that, but there's so many best of lists, and I find most of them interesting too, which is cool.
There's a lot.
This is an easy show to do. I could, if anybody wants to go like, oh guys, really tough, 2014 best of, really very original. No, there's some interesting stuff to talk about that in that vein. So we're gonna get to that, but what we have to touch on first is a movie that I had little to no interest in. I saw This Is the End, and I really liked it. I like Seth Rogen. I like James Franco. I think they make, these movies are funny. Pineapple Express was an hour too long, but they're making funny movies. But when I saw this whole we're going to go kill Kim Jong-un show or movie, I went, gee, really, guys? Like, how stupid and cheesy.
So dumb.
And, like, you're trying to do what you've already done over and over and over again. Well, apparently Korea hasn't seen Pineapple Express or the rest of them because Korea's pissed. And North Korea. South Korea is probably enjoying the shit out of this, actually. But North Korea is upset, apparently. And nobody seems to know who these hackers are. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Sony has been hacked, the studio, and a bunch of their, very upper executives have had their emails hacked. There's a bunch of stuff out there, a bunch of, shit about celebrities and stuff
But
being
it's
said.
all kind of funny.
It is. It's very. If Americans were gonna go try to hack North Korea, they would do it in a much more vicious way, I think. This has been kind of just like, oh, really? Like,
this is like Paul Reiser was asking why all the seasons of Mad About You weren't available.
Yes, that's like the peak of
that
this.
level.
Yes. So, but what I find so sad, and the only reason I want to talk about it, is that it sounds like they are not going to put this out there. This is not going to make it to theaters. The interview is going to be scrapped because terrorists and hackers have threatened to blow up movie theaters now. If you go watch this movie, they've threatened the premiere itself. They've threatened everybody. And they basically said that this was like a movie that was a terroristic movie. And it's so funny to hear.
Bonkers.
If these people actually are from North Korea, like, holy shit! Like, you're telling us that we're doing something wrong? I mean, my God, your country, you don't have lights on at night. For
They're
Christ's
very
sake.
serious over there.
Well, they are very serious. I'll give them that. But I just think that what this has done is made me go from That movie looks mediocre. I have zero interest to. Now I hope they do put it in theaters, and I will be there for the premiere. Like, I say, fuck you, terrorists.
You wouldn't have a fear?
No.
Okay.
No, and almost, you know what, if I get blown up, I get blown up. I don't have any kids. I'll be fine.
I don't want to get blown up in a James Franco movie.
But well,
I want to
you
go
got a
out
point
doing
there.
something badass, you know?
You got a point there. It's
I'm
not like
gonna
I'm
get
going to an
blown up.
Oscar nominee. But I say, if you kill me there, I'm a martyr now. I mean, like, you made us, anybody who gets killed by going to see that stupid movie, they are the ultimate martyr, because anybody in America is going to go, seriously? You killed them for that? Now we're even more angry. Like, now we're coming to get you.
But I also don't want this stupid James Franco movie to start like World War III. Like, that's what would scare me, that the retaliation. North Korea is terrifying.
I know.
It's not like, you know, terrorists are one thing, like, in the Middle East, where they're kind of dispersed and, like, these, you know, kind of underground, strange troops. I mean, and North Korea has nuclear weapons.
Yeah, they're organized.
They're organized, man. I mean, not saying Middle Eastern terrorists aren't, but...
No, but nothing like
different
that.
animal.
No, I mean, we're literally talking about a government. I mean, we're not talking about just some rogue band of terrorists, like you're saying. So I just think that, I mean, I'm first in line now. If that movie does come out on Christmas like it was supposed to, I will be there. And fuck you, terrorists. I mean, that was all I needed to get on that.
You sound like Seth Rogen there. Fuck you, terrorists.
Perfect. That couldn't have been better then. All right. So,
or
what?
We should make a pact that if it doesn't come out in theaters, but it does come out like just on DVD, I think everyone should go buy it. Everyone just go buy it.
I wonder.
Just help these dudes out. Let's make a statement. Everyone go watch it.
Well, yeah, you know what? I mean, there'd be nothing cooler, actually, than to see this win, like, to set all the box office records, actually. That would be the coolest thing. If it would go to theaters, cool. and then, you know, Titanic and whatever have been just, you know, Lord of the Rings or whatever they were, just blown out of the water.
Just buy tickets and not even watch it.
And everybody walks out of the movie and goes, what a piece of shit. Like, that would be amazing. If everybody just still went to it, even if they didn't like it, and just went to say, screw you to the terrorists, because... This is America. We make movies that, yeah, you might think are distasteful, and we don't give a shit. Like, I don't want them to just say, well, it's dangerous, we better not do it.
I know.
I don't like that mentality. That sounds like, well, Bush would say that you're letting the terrorists win, and you would also say, you know, which side are you on? Are you with us or the terrorists? So I'm going to stop talking about that now, because I don't want to compare myself to Bush anymore. Where should we start? There's so many top best of 2014 lists. There's so many ways to go.
Probably movies.
I think movies are a good way to start. Of course, that's probably the one I don't have up. So
it's
good call.
It's an easy transition from The Interview. Is that what it's called, The Interview?
Yeah, it's called The Interview. Yeah, see, I got a bunch of TV stuff up here. I'm going to have to pull up a best of movies. But I'll just pull up the best of movie. I mean, I can literally Google best movies of 2014, and we'll get
I really
right
like Pineapple Express, by the way. That's on...
You did like it?
Mm-hmm.
See, I an hour and a half in, I'm going, okay, this is a comedy. Should be done in about 5 minutes, 10 minutes. And then it went on and on and on.
It wasn't as good as, like, Superbad or kind of those other comedies of that time. But those kind of were all released around the same time.
I would say Superbad's right around there, yeah.
There was, like, a string of pretty good comedies that came out, and Superbad was probably the best of them.
Yep. Yeah. Oh,
Not
Superbad
probably.
was solid. No, Superbad was a solid movie. Yeah, absolutely.
Love that movie.
All right, I've pulled up we'll do top 10s basically tonight. If you start getting into the 20, you start getting the obscure stuff that you don't want to talk about. What's that?
I said that's just everything.
But all the lists out there are top 20, top 50, top 100. Like, there's not a lot of top 10s. So we'll narrow it down for you.
Okay.
But let's go with movies.
Okay.
Now, I'm a little surprised that Birdman comes in at 10 on IMDb of the year. And
really?
This is of just 2014, yes. And oh my God, I might end the show right now. Like, I'm just going to turn it off. We're done. Horrible Bosses 2 is number 9.
Okay, I never saw Horrible Bosses 1.
I saw it last week for the first time, just rented it for $2 or whatever.
How was
Not
it?
bad.
Okay,
Not bad.
I heard it wasn't bad.
Not good, but not bad. I mean, I would say in looking at it in the same scope that it's supposed to be. Like, so Interstellar, when we reviewed that, you know, we kind of said, you know, that's supposed to be an epic movie. I mean, that's supposed to be something you have to see in the big screen, you know. So I judge it for what it's supposed to be.
Sure.
Horrible Bosses it's just a comedy. It's supposed to be but I judge it on a different scale, completely different scale.
Okay.
And I would say I gave Interstellar 74 on Rotten Tomatoes, 74%. I'd say same thing, 74.
Okay.
It's okay. I would never say don't watch it or say you're wasting your time if you are, but I would never also say, oh my God, you haven't seen Horrible Bosses?
Sure.
Like so it's
Sure.
one of those.
I get it.
And Horrible Bosses is supposed to be, or the sequel is supposed to be worse. So the fact that that's in our top 10 kind of makes me angry. But now we get to the good movies. Nightcrawler, so upset that I haven't seen it, but that's the...
I would say see Birdman first.
No, I want to see Birdman first as well. But that scares me that that's a 10 on here. But yes, Birdman I think is going to be the top movie maybe the last 10 years. I mean, from what I keep hearing
That's
about
what I
it,
hear too.
Rusty Gatenby was on Jeff Dubé's show last night talking about it too, said it was fantastic. Michael Keaton is amazing
People on
in
the
it.
KQRMS morning show will not see it.
Really? What's that about?
I think it's an indie art flick.
I love indie art.
I know they hate indie art flicks. You know how much they hate indie art flicks. So I was like, should I? They don't want to see it. Should I see it? And then I was like, yeah, I should probably still see it.
Now, their ratings are a little bit better than ours. Maybe we should. No. Whatever. If you guys are
I've just been
too
trying
cool
to.
for
I
it.
know. I've been trying
You know
to
what, though?
gather public opinion, and that was, they were all like, oh,
It's an interesting. It's an interesting little anecdote here, though, because they are. I mean, the KQ morning show. That's the number one morning show for its market in the country. I mean,
Yeah.
they crush. Their ratings are they're off the charts. Are they, in a really smart way, pandering to Minnesotans? I mean, Minnesotans, I feel, they would think that a movie like Birdman is too cute. Like, they just want, and I hate that I'm saying this, but I am anti-Minnesota in a lot of ways. I feel like we don't want to have to think about it. We want to just see a good movie.
They're pandering to the common man,
Right.
And not.
But that's how you get ratings.
Not Dan Cole's common man,
No.
because his common man is actually the smart man.
Exactly. But no, I think that they're pandering to the people. I mean, I would say 80% of Minnesotans would probably be like, oh, is that like an artsy flick? I don't
Yes.
want to see that.
For sure.
So fuck you, KQ.
Who doesn't
You're
want
so
to see
smart.
Michael Keaton?
No, if the whole concept of that movie is so good. The former Batman, it plays on his real life. I love the whole idea.
Yep.
Gone Girl, you've seen that one,
I
right?
have.
Yeah, that's like one of the few that on the list that either one of us has seen.
Yeah.
And you would say, okay, so that's 7 on the top 10. Is that
Yeah.
right? In your eyes, should it be higher?
Yeah, it was a great movie. It was really, really well done. Rosamund Pike plays the main character, kind of carried it. Ben Affleck was also great.
What would you give it, Rotten Tomatoes, 0 to 100?
I would give it like an 80.
Okay, so
An 80,
good,
yeah.
not great.
I mean, I love David Fincher. Like, I love his cinematography. I love the moods that he gives it, and he was the exact right director for this movie. It's dark. It's a suspenseful, kind of slow-moving thriller, which he's really good at. It's probably one of my least favorite David Fincher movies, but that's not saying a lot because Seven, Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, and Social Network are all like my
Kind of
some
knocked
of my
them out of the
favorite.
park.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, absolutely. Maze Runner. Have you even heard of that one?
No.
It's got Dylan O'Brien, Kayo, no, nobody in this movie that we know. Skip over it.
I think it's a teen movie.
Did you see Guardians of the Galaxy?
No.
Really?
No.
Guardians of the Galaxy, I just saw somebody again say it, actually. A lot of people like to consider this the perfect summer blockbuster.
Okay.
It's in all year I've heard of it talked about that way. When I saw it, I really liked it. I thought it was well done. I think Chris Pratt he's awesome.
He's awesome.
He is so. I mean,
he's
to be
funny
able to
and he's cool.
To do his character on Parks and Rec, and then also be an action star, you're versatile. You're versatile.
For sure.
And it proves the whole thing too, where it's much easier for someone to go from comedy to drama than drama to comedy. Because if you're actually a funny comedian, you are an actor.
Right.
You're a good actor by definition. So to be able, then you can spill into the other things. I don't think it goes the other way as well. But that movie, it was really good, but it wasn't. I feel like I don't know if maybe because there wasn't another summer blockbuster to go with it.
That was really good, yeah.
I feel like it's gotten higher praise than it was worth.
Okay.
Good movie. I mean, I'd give it like 85. If you want to go with the Rotten Tomatoes scale again, but I feel like a lot of people are calling it like a 95, and it's just not that.
Maybe there were a lot of kind of shitty summer blockbusters from the last few years. Like
that's just it.
Transformers ones kind of went downhill, and there were some like big ones about ships that never really panned out. And then I think maybe it was kind of a breath of fresh air.
Oh boy. No, I agree though, because it was one of those things where it was, you compare it to the others. And the ones that they've been doing have been so bad lately that, and for a summer blockbuster, very good. But
Right.
in general, summer blockbusters are shitty movies. So,
Okay, next.
Hunger Games, haven't seen it yet.
No, but I love those movies. I'm sure I'll love
and anything with Jennifer Lawrence I will watch because
Yep.
she is so damn hot.
They're a good trilogy, or
And-
good whatever it's becoming.
Yeah,
Four
what is
movies,
that going to end up being?
4
Like-
movies, 3 books.
Okay. Right, because the last one is divided into
Yeah.
2, right?
Yep.
Kind of Harry Potter-esque.
Yep.
3, Interstellar. I'd put that maybe in third of the year.
It
Up
was
there.
it was far-reaching. So
Oh
yeah.
my God! It reached in every possible way. Yeah, that entire movie is a reach, but
But
it was still good. Like right,
It was
you
great.
still walked out liking it.
It was my mind was kind of like a little like what the hell. So yeah, a definitely great movie.
It's one of those ones where I can't wait till it's out on DVD or I'll rent it on PlayStation because it's now that I have seen it in the theater, I'm not going to watch it going, boy, I really wish this was on a bigger screen. I've already seen it. So now I just want to get the story stuff. I want to get, the science stuff of it kind of nailed down in my own head. Are you going to see Exodus, Gods and Kings?
No. I'm not.
You're pretty sure about that. Why not?
There's just too many other things I want to see, and that is not one of them.
Is it because all of the cast is white and they're supposed to be Arab?
No, that hasn't really occurred to me.
It's one of the stories I read this week about it. So
yeah, that's a big thing now is casting people that like Native American in the next Peter Pan is going to be played by what's her face from Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
Right.
She's going to play who's the Native American girl in Peter Pan.
Peter Pan?
Yeah.
I don't know. What are you
know,
talking about Pocahontas? Like a different...
No, in Peter Pan, the character in Peter Pan.
Oh, I know who you're talking about, but I don't remember the character. I saw 5 minutes of that live play.
Oh, it's bad.
Oh, it was so bad. And just side note, why the hell does Peter Pan have to be a girl when it's live?
It's just a traditional.
But Robin Williams crushed it in Hook.
Yeah, but because it's live, the play production of it, the stage production of it, is always classically a woman.
Really?
Yeah, because it started off as a woman, and back then kind of the thought was they're smaller and they can fly, and Pan's kind of pretty in a higher voice, and
I can understand just the hanging from wires thing. You don't want a 200-pound male up there.
Sure.
It'd be better to have a 110-pound chick. That
Sure.
part I get. But
So it's become kind of this like fun classic that women have gotten to reprise, which is kind of funny and strange and cool.
And considering that all women roles were played by men for 2,000 years,
Right.
I guess it's hard to get too mad about it. But I think that's still weird.
And
Peter
the story
is a woman.
Yeah, the story is pretty boring too. Like, have you ever really watched or read Peter Pan? Not read, but watched it?
No.
Nobody reads it.
No.
It's boring.
Well, okay.
It starts in a bedroom when people are sleeping. I mean, Hook is fun. Hook is
fun,
gives a
yes.
spin on it. But Peter Pan itself is kind of like.
But now, am I wrong when saying that Peter Pan they're dead? I mean, aren't they supposed to actually be dead
No.
and they're in like heaven or something? I mean,
No.
that's not the whole.
No.
Okay, I've heard that was like the shtick behind the shtick, so
Nah.
I thought that was what it was. All right, never mind then. Bad movie and bad play and bad all that. Anyway, why are we even talking about it? And then Hobbit comes in at number 1. This is on IMDb though, so take it for what it's worth. But The Hobbit. Is that just because it's the final one and they just kind of get their due, or what do you think?
I heard it was incredible.
Really? I haven't seen either of the other 2 Hobbits though, so I don't.
I saw the first one. It was slow, but it was like if you're interested in Lord of the Rings and if you're interested in that story, it will not feel slow to you at all. I mean, it's just kind of like you kind of dig that backstory.
Mm-hmm.
I heard the second one was great. I heard the third one was great. I was a huge Lord of the Rings fan, so I'm kind of okay with this. But there are a few on here that are really missing. That I think.
Like what? What would you throw in there?
Well, Boyhood.
Probably the best movie of the year that we haven't seen, other than Birdman. Yeah.
Right.
How is that
Boyhood's
not
on
in the
there.
top 10? Let's see. That's had to have made the top 15, 20.
I would check the Rolling Stone one. They have a good overview.
And I have a few other Rolling Stone countdowns too.
Okay,
Oh
good.
my God.
Birdman.
Boyhood is 28.
Okay.
IMDb, you suck.
I just don't think IMDb. I don't know what IMDb is basing theirs on, but Boyhood, Foxcatcher.
Yes, that's the other one that we need to see.
And that's another one
And
that's
Imitation
someone
Game or
comedy
whatever, too.
going to drama.
Yes.
Steve Carell is supposed to be incredible.
Yep. And what's his name? The Magic Mike or whatever. That I would never think could act. Why can't I think of his name?
You can never remember his name. You
Every
blocked
time.
it out of your
Every
head.
time. Well, I kind of try to. He's just the pretty boy. You know who I'm talking about. He's in Jump Street. Yeah. Well, anyway, anybody listening right now is going, you idiots, it's this guy. But I can't think of his name. But you know what? I actually am proud of that because he's such a... well, apparently now he can act.
He's funny. He was funny in 21
No,
Jump Street.
21 Jump Street, that was actually the only role I've ever seen him in. Actually, have I ever seen another movie with him in it other than 21 and 22 Jump Street? I don't think so. 22 Jump Street sucked, by the way. I don't know why that was considered to be good. Everybody said that was still funny. I didn't find it funny at all. But, I'm a stuck-up prick.
Okay, so I finished Grand Budapest Hotel.
Yes. What did
so
you think?
Great.
Yes, very good movie.
So
That's another
great.
one that's been on a lot of top lists that aren't on. It's not on this one, but it's been on a lot of them.
It was funny. I was laughing out loud, and some of his movies. What's the director's name again? He did Royal Tenenbaums. He did Moonrise Kingdom. Wes Anderson.
Yep.
People, kind of love him, but a lot of his stuff I like, but I'm not necessarily laughing. Like, I get the humor, and I get why it's funny, but Grand Budapest Hotel made me actually laugh out loud.
Oh, see, now I thought you weren't the biggest... Oh, no, you didn't love the... what was the other one you even mentioned? It.
I didn't love Moonrise Kingdom.
Yeah,
I thought it was fine.
That one.
I thought it was just a little... It was sweet. It was a really sweet movie. Nothing really was compelling to me about it. I didn't fall in love with their love. Like, some people love the fact that these two little kids fell in love together, and I was kind of like, oh, it's just kind of sweet. It's like, oh, that's nice. Okay. I'm kind of ready to move on. Like, I don't care.
I don't know. I've already said the Ed Norton character was great, too. I really liked that. But there was the little
Ed
love
Norton's
story
always
between
good.
that kid and the girl. I thought it was great. I don't know. I thought that was very well done.
He does quirky couples really well, just
Right.
like in Grand Budapest Hotel.
Right.
You get kind of the two awkward kids who are end up being or teenagers or young adults.
Yeah,
who
they're
are,
like 12 or 14
very
or
sexual,
something.
very in love with
too, yeah.
very in love with each other. I think it's sweet.
Kind of creepy.
I like that. It's a little weird that they're so young.
Yeah.
Like, both of them in Grand Budapest Hotel looked quite young, but oh well.
But I still liked the acting and everything of it. Okay, what did I just do?
And some of my favorite actors are in it.
Who else?
Ralph Fiennes, or however you say his name.
Who?
Ralph Fiennes. It's Ralph Fiennes. How do you say his name?
What did he play in the movie, though?
He was the main character in Grand Budapest Hotel.
Okay, yeah. In Grand Budapest. Okay. I don't know how to say his name, so I'm not.
Yeah,
able to help you.
it's like Ralph Fiennes. He's one of my favorites. You know that he was Lord Voldemort?
Oh, okay.
He was.
Now I got you. All right.
He's incredible. Jeff Goldblum is one of my favorite people. Jeff Goldblum
is great.
So, anyway, enough about Grand Budapest Hotel.
Jeff Goldblum, the best thing about Jeff Goldblum is in every movie he just plays himself. And it's awesome. Like, it's never a bad thing. But he is just Jeff Goldblum. And I don't know how many other actors you can say that about where it's not annoying. But for him, I love whenever he just... I swear, even Jurassic Park. He's the same character, but you like it.
I'm thinking of Jeff Goldblum and then Independence Day.
Oh my God,
Same part.
Independence Day, yeah.
Him and Will Smith were probably one of my favorite duos of all time.
See, now I think that is one of the worst movies of all time.
Do you think Independence Day is one of
yes.
the worst movies of all time?
It's horrible.
I
Horribly
love that
acted,
movie.
horribly written. Everything about it's horrible.
Incredible.
Everything the president says is retarded.
Yeah, but that's
everything about
retarded?
it. I'm sorry, I take that back. Almost accurate because he is. It's I don't know that. And I remember.
Yeah, but Bill Pullman's a horrible actor.
That's part of it. But I remember how many of my friends thought that was that was their summer blockbuster. Like, oh, that one was so good. No, it wasn't. That was not. Oh God, sorry. I'm distracted because now the Wild just went down 2-1, I think.
Oh shoot.
God, the Wild are killing us. Okay, I did find a good TV list.
Okay.
It's from Vogue, but so far from what I've seen, it looks good.
Okay.
Start at 10. Fargo, absolutely. If that's not on a top 10 of this year, you
Wait,
don't know what
we're
TV
doing
is.
TV now.
Yep, we're
Okay.
on the TV now.
Moving away from movies. Goodbye movies. Do we get
Unless you
everything
have
we
something
want?
to add about movies.
No.
Okay.
No.
Now, this isn't necessarily just shows that came out in 2014.
Shows that had a good season.
Or a good season, right.
Okay.
So Homeland is up there, too. Are you a Homeland fan?
I've only watched the first 3 seasons.
It's only in the 4th, I think.
Okay.
So you've seen every episode until this year.
Yes.
I think. Which
So
might be more than I've seen, actually. No. I've seen all the first 3. Yeah, the first 3 seasons. I think the show is amazing.
I just feel far behind, so I can't even talk about it. But that show's great.
I don't even, I liked 24 back in the day. I
never watched it.
Never? Okay. That when it came out and when this country was still seriously maybe going, oh my God, are we going to get attacked again? Oh my God, are we going to get attacked again? Like that, when that was there, I loved watching him torture people to get information and defend America and be a bold blah, blah, blah. Like, I loved that whole thing. And you go about 10 years after 9/11, you kind of go, maybe we're over this shit. Like, maybe we should stop torturing people. Maybe they won't want to kill us as much. Like, you kind of fade away from it. With Homeland, I don't know if it's the angle they take or just it is. It's the angle they take. It's the making that character where you don't know what side he's on for so long.
He's a complicated character.
That makes it so good. Where
Brody, I don't know if he's still on it, but
I don't even know either. But for those that haven't seen the show, I can, without spoiling it, Brody is a soldier who is basically taken prisoner in is it in Afghanistan? I think it's in Afghanistan for a long time, and then he's let go by the Taliban or whoever's got him, and then we bring him back, and he's kind of looked at as a hero,
but it has PTSD and issues.
Right, and then what's her name? Carrie is her name on the show.
Claire Danes.
Claire Danes, who is phenomenal in the show. She's the one where she's like, well, I don't know if I trust this guy's story, and then it goes from there. And
she's crazy, but she's brilliant.
Literally out of her mind. On meds and the whole bit. It's great. Saul, guy from Taxi and all that stuff.
And Princess Bride.
And the Princess Bride. Oh my God. My name is Montego. Yeah, he is awesome in the show as well.
Yep.
Although I recently read something about like the hardest actors in Hollywood to work with, and he was on the list. So
really?
Yeah, that disappointed me a little.
Oh, that is disappointing.
Especially when, like, seriously, your top is Princess Bride, and you weren't even the star. Like, come on, man. Let the ego go a little. I mean, I have an ego, I understand, but
right.
And obviously I've never done anything near on the level he's done, but I still have an ego, so I guess I can understand. Game of Thrones makes the list. We love Game of Thrones. Okay. I don't even know if there's anything more to say. They're awesome.
I was gonna say, best TV death of the year. Okay,
spoiler alert if you're watching the show and haven't seen the last season.
Which did you like better, Joffrey dying or the Viper dying? Like, which was more epic to you?
Now, I saw that when you said that this morning. Why doesn't Viper ring a bell?
The Viper is the guy that got his eyes gouged out.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but he was the prince.
Yeah,
he was
the
Prince something. Okay, I don't remember him being called Viper. That's interesting.
That was his nickname.
Okay. No, I've told you. Okay, seriously, guys, just stay away if you haven't seen the show yet for a minute. But you know how I saw that episode, right? Don't you remember me telling you about this? Where I saw him get killed first, and then I watched the episode. So the drama of it was ruined.
Jason's timer of the show, someone else had watched it before him or whatever, and it started on the scene of him dying, and he thought he was watching the beginning.
I literally started like the 11th of 12 episodes of a season with 4 minutes left. That was where I started it. Like, it crushed my world.
So epic.
But okay, so wait, you're asking if Viper or whose death was more important?
Or Joffrey's death was cooler to you? Because they were different and very different. They were very different ways to die.
I'm going to go Vipers because of the way, the style. You didn't see that coming. It was so... And you know what? Okay, what's cool about... And this is what's so cool about the show. He, became a really important character for, 4 or 5 episodes.
He was really cool.
I figured he was going to be around for 2 or 3 seasons.
Yeah,
you just assume he's a new character on the show because he was really good. He was
very
well acted, but
he was hot. Yeah,
he was everything you want. He was a good-looking guy, the whole bit, and then just you literally watch him get his skull imploded, and it's the coolest thing ever. It was great. And I do like, and that's what I love about Game of Thrones is you have no idea who and when someone's going to die. You never know.
Yeah.
And I think that's fun about it. I hate shows where everyone won't die.
Yeah.
I want to at least question it.
Joffrey's death was great because I thought it was a little unexpected. I kind of knew it was going to happen, but I wasn't sure how. And he kind of drank that thing, and then he started, whatever. And then it was blood was coming out of his eyes. It was really disgusting. It was kind of great.
But you needed him to die that way.
But you needed him to die that way, and you needed everyone to watch, and you needed his mother to watch, and you needed his new wife to watch, who is a total badass, by the way.
Yes.
Marjorie.
Yes.
I'm really excited to see what she has to do because she is one of the most conniving. She's turning into one of the most conniving characters.
Her and her grandmother or whoever that is, the older woman that's got all the power, they're so good. They're so good. So conniving.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what happens.
The Honorable Woman. I haven't heard of it.
Mm-mm.
Do you know who's in it?
No.
Maggie Gyllenhaal.
Okay.
No, I love Maggie Gyllenhaal. I love the Gyllenhaals. They're two of the best actors out there right now. They really are.
Siblings.
Yeah. No, fuck you guys too, by the way. Like, really, both of you get to be that good? Like, can't just one of you be the good one in the family and the other one's like got to be an insurance salesman? Like, come on, it's bullshit.
Like Brad Pitt's brother.
Yes,
who's completely normal looking.
Yes.
You're like, oh yeah, looks like Brad Pitt, but like a really normal Brad Pitt.
The guy should be slinging cigarettes on the corner or something. It's just not right that they're both this successful. But this, okay, starring Maggie Gyllenhaal as an Anglo-Israeli businesswoman hoping to bring an ambitious fiber optics project to the West Bank.
Okay.
This miniseries tackled the Israeli-Palestinian conflict in a surprisingly unbised way. That that sounds amazing. I'm gonna have to find that one. But
Next.
Since we don't know shit about it, we're not going to talk about it any longer. And let's see where we are in time. Okay, we're good. You love this one, The Veep. The Veep is number 5.
Veep was hilarious. Great, dry.
I've never wanted to see it. I'm going to have to try it out, though.
I mean, easy to hate everyone on the show.
She's one of those characters, though, and George, Jason Alexander, too, kind of the same, where I don't want to see him as anyone else.
You'll like
that.
her as Selena Kyle.
Okay.
Yeah. She's great. She owns that role.
Now, have you have or have not seen Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee?
I have.
Okay. Have you seen the one where he comes back and plays George?
No.
With Jerry?
No.
It's really weird. Please, before one of the next shows in the next 2 weeks
Watch
or so,
it.
I want to hear your take on that one,
Okay.
because the idea is great. Like, let's have Jerry and George Costanza sit down and
funny.
have coffee. Like, oh, great. I don't know. There's something about age.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
He looks 10 years older, so
Yeah.
he's not the George we know. Like,
No, he's not the
it's
George
off.
we know.
It's
I
off.
want George to stay in the early 90s George.
Agreed. With
Yeah.
his bad sweaters and
Right,
flannels
totally.
and-
I mean,
yes.
that was like where it ended is where it ended, and I want it to stay there.
But now on the series, they've also brought back Kramer, but he's like the president of Crackle. Have you seen this stuff?
No.
So now, the series is on Crackle. That's kind of where that's become their sponsor. Like,
Okay.
they have Acura and Crackle as their two vehicles for the show. Pardon the pun with the Acura. But Crackle apparently, like, they have it now where it's set up where Kramer, Michael, what's his? I can't think of
Michael
his.
Richards.
Michael Richards. He is the president of Crackle now. So now, like, Jerry goes in for like 5 minutes and talks with him, and it's just he's Kramer. Like,
Oh my
he's this
God.
crazy, over the top. It's great. But I don't want to see Jason
No,
Alexander,
I don't
and
either.
for some reason with her on the Veep, it hasn't worked for me either.
You'll like it though.
The
It's
Good Wife.
People
Isn't
love that show.
like ABC or something?
Yeah, it's been on for a long time.
Yeah, but I didn't think. I mean, and we're gonna get to this later, but I didn't think that network TV could really make good TV anymore. The competition's so stiff.
The Good Wife is doing well.
So have you seen it though? Have you watched
I've
it?
only watched a couple episodes with my mom. She
Okay.
likes it.
Okay.
And it's good. Julia Margulies is good. And the guy from who forever known as Big, he's a great actor. Big from Sex and the City.
From Sex and the City. And
Yeah.
what's sad is I know who you're talking about, but I have no name either.
Yeah,
so
he's
all I
great
know him
as
as
well.
is Big too.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe this is probably the greatest show that was started in 2014.
Okay.
At least I think it was. John Oliver. Last week tonight.
John Oliver was, yes.
Holy shit, did they
Yeah.
crush that. I mean,
Yeah.
I like the other two on Comedy Central. The Colbert is now moving to the late night show.
Yep.
And then
Stewart.
Stewart. Those two are awesome, but I swear it's the HBO. John Oliver's it's better. I like it
he's
better.
allowed to swear, which is kind of, I mean,
That does help.
Stewart swears too. It's just bleeped out, that's fine. I mean, it is a lot like Jon Stewart because did he start on Colbert?
He was
or
a
did
correspondent. I thought it was on.
Was it on
Stewart's?
I can't remember
I
now.
thought it was on Stewart's.
It could, yes, I think you're right. So it's a lot like Jon Stewart, but I'm totally fine with that because I think more of that. Some people are really bothered by that format, right? This kind of comedy that's really delivering the news, but then they're like, well, you're not really supposed to get the news from us, but we really are kind of getting interesting news stories and an interesting
a lot
take.
of facts that you don't get from the rest of the media.
Exactly, and so I like that, and I think it appeals to our generation who kind of needs more of that entertainment factor. Like, we're not turning on the local news anymore, but we are turning on John Oliver, and we are turning on Jon Stewart, and so I like that. It's smart. It was so funny, and just like Jon Stewart, he's able to have these clips that are really shareable that people take and push out there to the internet and gets people talking, which I think is really important. So.
No, what those guys do is they can where their genius is, and where, like, honestly, what you just said is where I want this show to be at one point. Like, I want us to be entertaining, but you also learn from us. You also get an idea of what's going on in the world, but it's putting a frame or a context of we make fun of the morons in the world, and then we also hopefully bring up the good people. Like, and I think that's kind of what they do. They try to do.
They do.
But they do it through humor, and I think that's where you and I kind of are coming from too. I don't think you and I take ourselves seriously enough to not look at it in a humorous way in everything. But I do. But I want to talk about serious issues and stuff. So I think that he has found the greatest way to do that.
And he's likable.
And he's so damned likable. And if you haven't seen his bit on the net neutrality, I mean, his whole shtick is there's nothing more boring to talk about than net neutrality, and he does like 12 minutes on it, and it's fantastic.
It's so good.
I mean, there's even if any parents out there, if you got like a kid between 2 and 5, he does a little like 20-second thing on Caillou in the middle of it, and just destroys Caillou. It's great. So any young parents out there can probably appreciate that. Why don't we'll take a quick break, and we have plenty more to get to on the list of 2014, the year that was, and we'll do that in just a moment.
I came to tell you, something is coming.
Exodus, Gods and Kings is getting poor reviews. The big-budget biblical reboot about the story of Moses is directed by Gladiator's Ridley Scott. Christian Bale plays Moses, and he had one main commandment for doing this project.
No matter how many films you've done, it never stops being so much bloody fun, riding on a horse, slashing through people, having some fights, you know? I mean, that's straight back to being 8 years old.
Comedian Chris Rock's movies typically get poor reviews, but his new movie, Top 5, is getting the best reviews of his Hollywood career.
Do you think the wedding is hurting me? Listen, Andre, the wedding is the best thing that you got going right now. If this thing flops, we could be talking Dancing with the Stars. Man. Dancing with the Stars? That's where you're at right now.
Chris not only stars, he directed and wrote the film, and rewrote the film, and rewrote the film.
Dude, who knows, 100 drafts? I mean, even when you're editing, it's kind of rewriting.
Exodus, Gods and Kings, and Chris Rock's Top 5 are at theaters around town this weekend.
And that is Rusty Gatenby. You can find the Rusty Gatenby review at rustygatenbyreview.com. He is also on the Alive and Social network, so go to aliveandsocial.com to get anything else about any of the shows, but especially Rusty's. And we had him on Jeff's show last night talking movies. He's going to be at the Critics' Choice Awards because he's one, like, he gets a vote.
Because he's real.
Because he's cool, and yes, and he's actually like a true media guy around town, so he has access that we don't. But we're going to have him on our show
one day.
I love to talk movies with smart, like, movie geeks. I really do. It's so much more fun to actually talk about, like, cinematography and writing and directing and the stuff that you can do than it is just go, yeah, I thought that movie was really funny. I like that one. Like,
so great.
Yeah, I like to take it to another level.
I try and talk about that. I am easily entertained, though. I just like watching things. I like watching lots of different things. So that's my problem. I'm like, and I always have something just kind of positive to say.
Yeah, see, I feel like negative. You're almost too nice.
I try not to because I'm easily entertained. I'm not good at.
Well, that works out really well for me as a co-host. That's very good. I need that, so that's good.
But, I mean, I've definitely thought movies were shitty where I'm like, man, that was really bad. But I don't know. I wish I was a little more,
See,
review.
I'm the opposite.
Music, I will write something bad.
Okay.
But now since I think about it, I took all these journalism classes and arts and culture class, and I had to write all these music and movie reviews. And my teacher liked me, but he liked me, but he would always put my work up on his screen because I was always negative. I was always had negative things to say, and people thought it was so funny what a bitch I was. So maybe I should go back and find that part of myself.
Well, I think you could. For this podcast, you need to bring out a little bit of that bitchiness.
I'm not that
it's
nice.
necessary. Well, believe me, I'm not saying you're that nice. But my problem is, I go in thinking everything's going to suck. I assume all movies suck. I mean, because honestly, 5% of movies are good. Seriously, 5%.
5%.
I mean, when I say good, when I say good, I always say 80% or above, like, Rotten Tomatoes.
Okay.
Again. So if I don't give it an 80, it's like Interstellar, not good. Like, not really, it's not into my, where I would recommend it to someone.
Maybe I just don't maybe I'm really selective about what I watch, so I'm always entertained. Because I really
I like to think I am too.
I only go to the things that I know have gotten good reviews, and then I kind of think about it for myself. And even on TV, I won't watch things on TV. Like, I won't just turn on a random movie and watch it unless I've already seen it and I kind of know. Like, the other week I watched Bridget Jones' Diary because I know I love Bridget Jones' Diary. That movie's great. It's super funny. I've always loved it.
Well, and that's
so,
why...
You know, I wouldn't try, like, some random shitty new movie.
And that's why, like, on Rotten Tomatoes, the guy that runs it comes on Corolla's podcast all the time and talks about how the critic score versus user score, the user score in general is almost always going to be higher because they already chose to go to the movie.
They already chose it.
Why would they go to a movie they weren't going to like in the first place?
I'm not going to... I rarely choose random movies to go to. Like, honestly, the only time I probably will go to a random movie is with family.
Okay.
Where my mom or my stepdad is like, yeah, let's go to the movies. And they're like, let's see Chef. Oh, there's another one that was supposed to be good this year that I never actually ended up going with them. And I'm kind of like, okay, I'll spend time with you.
The last movie I was dragged to in that fashion was Chicago. So what year are we talking?
Like,
2004?
Like,
something like that?
Yeah.
Like 10 years ago?
Yeah, totally.
But I remember, and I don't mean that like if my ex-stepmom is listening or my dad or whatever. I mean, I didn't feel like I was being dragged at the time, but that was, to go along with what you're saying, like I would have never, ever saw that movie.
Right.
On any platform. Much less in the theater.
Right.
Had it not been I was dragged there. So, yeah. But for me, what I do is I'm with you. I always check Rotten Tomatoes before I watch a movie, basically every single time.
I do too.
And if it's under like 70, I won't even bother.
Okay.
But then when it's really good, too, though, if it's like an 80, 85, 90, I kind of come in going like, can I be even more critical than the critics? Like I feel like, and I don't know if that's just a terrible personality trait, but I want to be more negative than the negatives. You know, like I feel like, I don't know, it's almost like contrarian or something. Like,
it is.
And I did work with Patrick Royce for a long time, so I definitely got a lot of contrarian.
You like to be devil's advocate.
I do.
You do.
Speaking of other sponsor of Jeff's show. So, okay, let's just finish up the TV real quick. We got two more.
Okay.
Transparent. I've never heard of it. Don't know anything about it.
It's with the guy that played the father on Arrested Development.
Correct.
And
he's apparently a cross-dresser?
He's literally trans.
Oh, okay.
Parent.
Because the picture...
He's a trans parent.
So
it's
he's
literal.
Clear? I can see through him?
No, he's a
he's a tranny parent.
Transgender
there you
parent.
Go. Okay. Because when you said transparent...
But he's
me,
literal a trans...
No, I get it.
Parent.
Okay. But do you know anything about the show? Have you seen it or anything?
No, I just heard it's really funny.
Okay, bye. True Detective, number one.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
I mean...
Move on. Case closed.
Exactly.
Case closed.
What more is there to say?
Oh my God! Can you give me?
No, I will not high five that. I don't even want an audience member to hear that. Holy shit! Case closed. That's where we need a producer for this show, or they like hit some kind of drop there because it would have been fantastic.
Wow.
Well, okay. Since we're still on TV, let's really quick go into. I have the top moments of the TV moments of 2014.
Okay.
Okay. Wow, she's really interested in this one. God, hope the listeners aren't feeling as bad about this as she is. Okay, so top 10. John Oliver talking about Ferguson, and it was amazing. That was a great little clip. Have you seen Inside Amy Schumer?
Yeah, I have.
Are you a fan? Is it good?
I do like Amy Schumer. Yeah.
What is that? Where do I find that? Is that like?
It's on. I think she's on Comedy Central. It's kind of like a sketch comedy.
Okay.
You know.
And War Games, does that mean anything to you?
No.
Apparently that was the skit that was so good this year?
No.
Okay. But I love her. And there's a new Netflix special, like Women Who Kill or something like that.
Yeah.
And she's the first one on it.
She
nails it. 20 great minutes.
She's strange and funny and inappropriate, and I like her.
Yes. I love that. And she was on Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee this year, too.
Yeah.
The Americans. Moving in for the Kill is the name of the show, or the episode or whatever. But have you seen that show yet?
No.
You need to watch The Americans.
Is that the one that's on HBO?
No, The Americans is on FX.
Okay.
And it's Carrie Russell. She and her husband are Russian spies living in America.
The hot British guy.
Yeah. Well, I guess. And it's like set in early 80s, like Cold War era. Like I've
heard it's great.
And what's so cool about that, it's one of those ones where they take the antagonists, two Russian spies, and make them the protagonists.
Like
kind of like a Sopranos kind of thing. It's very cool, very well done. Veep, Hail to the Chief. You're a fan of Veep.
That was an amazing episode.
Okay, and you even know the episode. You gotta love when you even know it. Masters of Sex.
Yeah.
I haven't seen anything from Masters of Sex. I've heard of it. I don't know anything about it.
I watched the first few episodes. I
Couldn't
thought
get
it
into
was
it?
a little. I really like Lizzie Kaplan,
Okay.
who, if anyone doesn't know who she is, she's kind of having this comeback, but she was in Mean Girls originally as Janice Ian. And
That
now
means nothing to me. Any
you ever
Mean
seen
Girls
Mean Girls?
reference? No, absolutely not.
You've never seen Mean Girls?
No.
Jason.
Never.
Jason. It's really funny. It's one of the funniest movies in a long time.
It can't be that good.
It's
What's her name's in it?
It's really good.
I know a lot of chicks love that movie.
No. It's not even chicks.
I've never heard one guy reference that movie in my life.
I definitely have heard guys love that movie.
Oh, you're younger than me. There's that.
Okay, you know what? Your homework.
What year did that come out?
You have to give 2004.
Okay, yeah, it's not that. All right, I'll give it a shot.
Okay.
Is it on Netflix?
I will bring it to you.
Okay.
I have of course I have a DVD copy. It might even have 2.
Oh my
I will.
God.
No,
Obsessed much?
It's Tina Fey wrote it. It's incredibly
Okay, all right.
incredibly smart. It's super funny. It flips the whole kind of high school bullshit on its side, and it's really inappropriate and really great.
Okay.
And I think you'll think it's funny.
That's enough. That's enough to get me to like it, or to give it a shot. I mean.
Sure. But Janice Ian is one of the big characters in it, and she kind of this kind of like goth weird girl, and she's great in Masters of Sex. But it's a little like, let's show as many sex scenes as possible to be edgy. Like, it's good.
That's not edgy
but
anymore.
I know, but it's like, let's show people having sex on a table with things strapped to them because it's kind of, it's edgy. But the acting's good, the writing's good. It's just, it was a little like, okay, I get it. It's a show about sex, and they're going to show people.
And they're always going to try to take it a little too far.
Yeah, watching scientific experiments about sex. Great. Well.
All right, on to the next.
Okay.
Orange is the New Black. How Morello went gangsta.
I don't know.
You don't know the show at all? Then I won't.
I
even
do, but
go in.
I don't.
Well,
I don't like it.
You don't like it?
No, I
at
don't
all.
like it.
See, I thought the first season was really good. Second season, first episode is awesome, and then it took 10 episodes to get good again.
Okay.
But once you get to like episode 11 of season 2,
take that
good again.
long.
I
It
know.
shouldn't take that
But the
long.
one thing about it is on Netflix. You can just stream the shit out of it, so
Yeah.
you can catch up real quick.
Sure.
Yeah. So those 8 hours of my life that I wasted, I got past them pretty quickly, so
sure.
it wasn't so bad. But and the scene or the show they're talking about was very entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
Mad Men, I never got into it. I'm sad to say, I think I need to go back and watch Mad Men. But
One of my favorite shows of all time. I didn't watch this most recent season though. I just didn't.
you haven't yet?
I
And that's the
haven't.
finale season, right?
No, there's one more season.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's kind of did that one of those like half season
Okay,
things where they do
kinda
like
like
8
Breaking Bad,
episodes
yeah,
and
yeah,
another
yeah.
8 episodes type of thing.
But
so.
what the hell is that? By the way, like Gotham did
I don't
that
know,
too.
they just-
Gotham did a fall first, and this is our first season. I get in the
Just like
finale
to draw it
season.
out, money. I don't know.
It's all about the money. I mean, everything is. Okay, now we can both agree on this. The number 3 best TV moment of 2014, Game of Thrones, The Trial of Tyrion Lannister.
Definitely.
Oh my God.
Definitely.
He's such a good actor, and that trial, the stuff he says to that whole the whole audience and it's phenomenal.
I will put that up there if any of you guys are thinking of like the best kind of soliloquies or speeches by one person in a TV show, which doesn't happen often. It happens every once in a while. They're always like in trials or something like that, right?
Yep.
West Wing, the cathedral scene, and anyone who's seen the West Wing will know
You've
exactly what I'm
mentioned that on the
talking
show
about.
before.
Incredible. Tyrion Lannister at trial, Game of Thrones, right up there.
Amazing.
Right up there.
Amazing.
So incredible.
He's so good.
So good.
What the hell is Broad City?
Oh my God! If you've
Okay, at least
never
you
seen
know about it.
Broad
No, I've never
City.
even heard of it.
Holy
That's number 2.
shit. Broad City is so funny.
Now I'm assuming broads is talking women, like that
Women.
kind of broads.
It takes place in Brooklyn. It's not like girls though. It's not a. It's like a.
I can maybe like it.
Yep. You and people are like, oh, it's too fun. It's funny girls that are These girls started on YouTube in real life. These 2 best friends, and they were so funny that they got picked up and now have this comedy show. And it's a full 30-minute comedy show. It's not sketch comedy or anything. It's real episodes and they play real characters.
Comedy Channel, right?
It is.
Comedy Central, I mean.
No.
That's where it's.
Oh, then
the
yes.
logo on here
Then
is,
yes,
but I
it
don't
is.
see.
I always thought that it was on one of those.
It's gotta be
yes,
Comedy
it's
Central.
got Comedy Central.
Okay.
So inappropriate and so funny
So
and so
actually
outrageous.
edgy, maybe.
It is.
Okay, I
but
like
edgy
that.
and a smart. These girls are insane. These 2 girls are insane, and I love them. And I wish that I took more time to watch that show because it's incredible.
I'm going to have to look into it.
Yeah.
All right, number one moment was True Detective. Matthew McConaughey's Psycho Eyes is what they call it. That doesn't even really ring a bell, but
The last scene
every
in the show?
episode was awesome. So I mean,
the last scene in the show was incredible.
It's when he's got the cans and he's crushing the cans of beer, and then he's like, time is a flat circle.
He
that
turns-
scene,
yeah.
that is
That is an
amazing.
incredible scene.
And from him to go from that, to his very clean cut, the current or his older look when they flash back,
Yeah.
and then not like the current today scenes where he's got this long hair, ponytail, gray hair.
Yeah.
The everything about that was so well done. On top of the acting, like the makeup and all of it was so well done. That show rocks. Let's switch it up a little bit because we're already getting out of time. But let's touch on the music, right?
The music.
Unless you have something else you want to bring up first.
No, that was a great list.
All right,
that was
so
a great list. Great
that was
job,
awesome.
Jason.
That was all me.
So
Rolling
smart.
Stone had nothing to do with that.
No?
50 best songs of 2014. Let's start at 10. Kendrick Lamar's "I." Ever heard of it?
Wait, we're doing all 50? I don't want to do
No.
all 50.
I'm starting at 10.
Oh,
Where
sorry.
everything's 10. It's just this is the top 50 list.
No. Well, I've probably heard it, but I can't.
I think
of
I've
it.
probably heard it
I've
too, but I
listened to the
don't
whole
know the
album,
song,
but I
yeah.
don't. Okay.
Future Islands. The song is called Seasons.
Yes.
You
Good
have
song.
heard that one.
I
Okay,
just heard it on the way here.
very alternative,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that new age rock
I
stuff.
wouldn't say. My Instagram's playing. I wouldn't say that it's one of the best. I wouldn't say it's in the top 10. It's a good song, but it kind of sounds like a lot of other alt electronic songs of
Yes.
the year, which is like up my alley. Like that's kind of what I listen to for easy listening, I guess you would say.
It sounded like background music. That's one of the
yeah.
few on this list I just checked out a few
Yeah.
seconds of. Sounds like background
Like
music.
this is such a lame phrase, but I was like jamming along to it, kind of singing along to it on the way here. So yeah, it's a good
Obviously
song.
not that bad then, yeah.
But I'm not like I gotta listen to it. that's my good song. Either it makes me think, or it brings out a really strong emotion, or I feel the need to listen to it over and over again.
No, yeah, I agree.
Like
Yeah,
I don't need it doesn't. You don't have to listen to it over and over again, or want to listen to it over and again for it to be a really amazing song.
Right.
But that's
But it has
mine.
to trigger.
But it has to
something,
trigger
yeah,
something,
yeah.
whether it's obsessiveness for listening to it, or sadness, or
So now, do you ever have a song that you're super into that you don't play out? Because I play
No,
them
I
15
usually
times a
play
day.
them a lot.
I
Yeah.
can't. If I have a song, I mean, the people that work here, we're live at Burger Mouse. The people that work here know what song I'm into and are sick of the songs I'm into because of how often I play them on the jukebox.
Oh,
so
see?
imagine how often I'm playing them at home or in my car.
I guess there's songs that I listen to. Like I was listening to D'Angelo's new album today. I don't know if that's on here.
First album in 14 years.
It's incredible.
Is it? Okay.
Black Messiah. It's amazing. It's great. It's like very soul. It's very bluesy. It's like a little bit of R&B. It's amazing. And there's a couple of songs there that I'm like, damn, like that's a really good song. Like that's an amazing song. But I don't like. I'm not gonna go turn it on my way home. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Okay.
So it's good but not great.
No,
like,
it's a great.
Then why wouldn't you want to turn it on your way home? What's the separating factor here?
I guess, like I said, like it's like a couple of different things for me. It brings out like emotion. It brings out some strong emotion, and it doesn't.
But so
always.
is that your reason why you don't necessarily always want to play it? Because
Yeah.
you don't want to go there always.
Totally.
Okay. That makes
totally.
complete
There
sense.
are some
That makes
songs
complete
that I'm like they're so meaningful to me, but I can't always listen to them because
Well, especially
they
if they're
hit
breakup
on
or
a
love
chord.
songs that
Sure.
bring up a certain
There are a
person.
couple
or,
songs from this
oh
year
my
that
God.
I'm like, whoa, like tears, you know?
Yep.
Like, dang.
I absolutely understand that.
Yeah.
So, okay. Now, I don't know if this must have been a new album this year. I didn't know that The Boss came out with a new album, but apparently the song of this year that was so good was Frankie Fell in Love. I did listen to like 10 seconds of that as well. Never even heard of it.
Bruce Springsteen?
And I'm not a big Bruce Springsteen fan to begin with, but that song
I haven't heard
sucks. It's awful. Don't listen to it. Now, Taylor Swift, I was expecting the old Shake It Off song to
Blank
for
Space
sure.
is on there, isn't it?
It is.
It's Blank Space.
Blank Space is
Because
the number 6 song of the year.
Blank Space is a really good song.
No, and actually, and Taylor Swift is one of my guilty pleasures, to be honest with you. I've never owned an album or anything, but I have played her here on the jukebox, and I listened to a couple seconds of that song as well, and didn't hate it.
It's so good.
It's not bad.
I've been playing. There you go. I've been playing that song on repeat.
Now that, okay,
And
I can
and
understand.
that song is making me want to buy 1989, which is like a huge step for me because I don't normally buy albums.
You're going to buy that
And
one.
I don't normally buy Taylor Swift albums. And I don't normally buy pop albums. And I'm going to buy it.
Yeah. When was the last time you bought any album that you consider pop?
Sam Smith this year.
Okay, I don't think I can't remember the last time I purchased a pop album. I really don't. It's like Arctic Monkeys was the last CD I think I bought. But I can't think I haven't bought like something that would be on a top anything chart in I don't know how long. Have you heard of Jenny Lewis?
Yeah.
Okay, well, Just One of the Guys.
Yeah.
That's her song this year that apparently was really good. Never heard of it. Future, who I've never even heard of,
it's catchy.
Featuring Pusha T, sorry for the pops, and Pharrell and Casino. And the song is called Move That Dope.
No, I haven't heard
can't believe I missed that one. That sounds fucking awesome.
Yeah, that does sound
Wow. U2, Every Breaking Wave.
No.
Fuck you, U2, for putting your stuff on my phone. I hate you.
Get out of here.
Get off my phone. DJ,
they came up the other day, and I was like, what the fuck is this?
It still keeps coming up on my too. I deleted it, and it comes back.
Oh, God.
It comes back on its own.
I appreciate Bono for all that he does for the world, but I don't want to listen to his music.
Bono, go do more. Go do more. Stop making music.
Be a humanitarian. That's what you're really good
right.
at.
That's what we care about you for. DJ Snake featuring Little John. Now, do you know, before I get to the title of the song, do you know who the hell DJ Snake is?
No.
Okay, I'd never heard of him either, but you know the song.
Okay.
It's Turn Down for What?
Yeah, it's a great song.
Worst song ever. But the beat is actually amazing.
Yeah.
And that's what Little John does.
Yeah.
He makes great beats.
Mm-hmm.
And then Beyonce and Jay-Z, Drunken Love is the number one song of the year. I wish they would both take a long walk off a short pier. We are really low on time now. We got 5 more minutes.
I don't know. Do you agree with that? Do you have any favorite albums that came out? I mean,
Right,
people are going to say Beyonce. People are going to say Taylor Swift. Sure. Yeah, best pop album, Taylor Swift. Okay, great. I'm trying to think of any really incredible albums in terms of indie albums, rock albums that came out this year.
My top albums that all came out in 2013. Like Tame Impala had an album that came out. That might have actually been 2012, but Tame Impala's last one, Arctic Monkeys, was 2013. And then Forrest Gump. Who is that artist? I think he was even listed earlier. But that's also 2013. I cannot think of one album that came out in 2014 that I'm all about. Even Justin Timberlake's first of the 2 albums came out last year, which was good.
Sam Smith was my favorite album of the year, and I've been listening to that 3 consecutive months straight now since it came out. Mm-hmm. I think he's incredible. I think he won Artist of the Year. I don't know if it was Billboard that named him that or what, but I think he's super talented, and I think he put out a really good album.
Let's do it quick. We got 3 minutes left.
Okay.
Worsts of the year, and it can be in any category of any kind. Top 3, top 1.
Oh my God!
Give me a worst of something.
My favorite. I will say my favorite fuck up. I love a couple good fuck ups a year. People really screwing themselves over.
Oh yeah.
John Travolta saying Idina Menzel's name wrong was it made my life because he's such a weirdo now.
How did he butcher it that badly?
Adele Dazeem. I don't know.
I mean, I remember I remember talking about that with somebody, and I feel like it was on a show or some kind. But there's no excuse for. It was as if the guy who does the cue cards or the straight fucked with them. That was how bad it was.
I know.
It wasn't.
It was really bad.
And it wasn't even I've done drugs in my time. There's no drug that makes you that you can't read at all. It doesn't just all of a sudden English changes. I don't know what he was doing. And you know what though? That could have been a publicity stunt too. Because there's no other reason for that. Why did he butcher it that badly? There's no way that he's not an idiot. Well, maybe he is, but
I don't think he's that dumb.
My worst of the year is cops that shoot people that don't have guns. That's my worst of the year. Can we put that to rest, please? Can we stop shooting people in the street?
Oh my God! Yeah, you're probably right. I feel like that should be everybody's.
It's gotta be up there, right?
I'm still looking for a good album. I'm back on the music here, man.
There weren't. There's not a lot of good music anymore, to be honest. There is, but there isn't.
Okay.
Okay. This might be the same as TV and stuff too, where there's almost too much out there. I brought up my ex-girlfriend in the last 4 shows, but
yeah, it's getting weird.
It is weird. If she's listening, she knows it's weird. But I need someone else to be the filter for music for me. I need someone where they go, all right, here's the 1,000 albums that came out in the last 2 months. Here's 10 of them that are cool. I need somebody to streamline it for me because there's so much.
Well, and I always forget what year things come out. But Beck had a good album this year.
Yeah.
Beck had a good album.
Beck's little comeback. That was
Alt
good.
J had a pretty good album. I liked their first album. I liked their second album.
I don't know enough about them, but I am a fan.
They're an enjoyable band. Just Sound like an old person.
You sound like a 60-year-old Minnesotan. Like, oh, aren't they a good band?
They're a great band.
They're coming down for the polka on Saturday. We got a minute left. What else you got?
Well, I'm still looking for other things right now. I'm in alternative tracks, which just doesn't work. Did you look up top albums of the year?
I had it at one point, but I don't think I do anymore, and now we don't have time. No,
my favorite baby of the year. Okay, we're. By the way, let's give a preface. Let's give a preface on tomorrow's show. It's going to be a really funny guy who had an article on City Pages who.
The 12 beers of Christmas.
Instead of just trying the 12 beers at different times, he tried them all at once. So we'll do best food and drink tomorrow. I think will be a good place for that to go.
Absolutely.
But this episode is dedicated to Prince George, who just had his Christmas pictures taken.
Anyone in America that is obsessed with British royalty
like babies.
fucking sucks. I hate you. We're supposed to hate the Brits still.
What if I lived
remember we
there
broke
for a
off
while?
from them?
Does that count if I lived in London?
You get a little bit of it.
Okay, thank you. But Prince George, you're the least ugly thing to come out of the royal family in a good since Prince Harry.
And that's how we're signing off tonight. So, Georgie, you run with that. Bye.